everyone, it's ESP of espdigiart.com. So today I wanted to do a quick podcast on some good ideas for New Year's resolutions that you might want to consider, that unlike those health and fitness goals and those weight loss goals that we all know you're going to stick with for about a month or two, maybe 3, and then just get sick of and be ready to quit, or maybe you're just going to slip on them and you're not going to think about it, you might actually want to keep this year. So I'm not telling you not to pursue your weight loss, health, or fitness goals. If that is something you want, I'm just telling you what I see, which is a lot of people make those resolutions and never stick to them. So some great ideas for creative New Year's resolutions might be things like you're going to draw 1 picture a day or per month or per week. The same could also, of course, apply to painting and crafting. It might just look different. So a certain interval of time and a number of these items you're going to do. Another great one would be saying, I'm going to spend 15 or 20 minutes drawing, painting, crafting per day. And this could also look, of course, like I said, per week or per month. And finally, another great idea that I think would be a wonderful one if you have been wanting to get more creative would be, this is the year you're going to learn how to do a new creative activity. That might be drawing, something to do with painting. It might just be a new technique. It might be something you've never tried before. It might be just simply taking it to the next level in some way, shape, or form. Maybe this is the year you're going to take that class that you have been thinking about for years and you have been putting off. And this can look like a lot of things. If you're already creating, it might be to just simply say, I'm already creating X number of pictures. I'm going to create X plus 1. So at one point I did this. I was already saying 2 pictures a week minimum, and that was just the minimum. It was not the maximum by any means. No, forget about that. I was not creating just 2 pictures a week a lot of the time. Didn't stop with that because artists, we tend to create things. It just happens. But I went from 2 to 3, and I very much stuck with that for not just that year, but for many, many years to come. And then there's the ever so classic, this year I'm going to organize my art supplies. I'm going to just tell you a little fun fact about that. If you are one of these people who can't seem to get or keep your art supplies organized, there's a couple of things you're probably doing wrong. One, you might not be using the correct organizing style. For me, this changed my life massively when I learned about it. First in my early 20s, learning I was a visual organizer, and then in my early 30s learning about macro versus micro organizing, as some people who are professional organizers will call it. I like to call it more or less involved organizing. So how much do you have to engage your brain and your hands in order to put something away? That would be how you determine the level of involvement. So I'm probably what would be considered a low involvement organizer if you use that scale, meaning I don't have a whole lot of brain or hand involvement before I will go from putting things away to putting things down. You might be the exact opposite, where you don't want to have a whole lot of brain involvement in finding things, but you're okay with the fact that the price you pay for that is that you're going to have a massive amount of brain involvement in putting them away. So this might be the year that you're going to learn whether or not you really, really actually want to see your stuff, but you've only ever been putting it away because everyone around you tells you you're not allowed not to, or you really actually do want it hidden and out of sight and out of mind. And also, like I said, how involved do you want that organizing system to be? Also, you can get those craft supplies put away and actually keep them put away. The other thing you might be doing wrong is you're putting things where you feel like or think that they should go, not where you're actually using them. So if you're that person who is going to forever be sitting in the comfy chair or the sofa in the living room with that sketchbook and those colored pencils and be doing your drawing there, and then you think you're going to go put that away all in the craft room, look, you might occasionally, but this is why they continuously end up on the coffee table and under the sofa and sitting on the sofa. And can you tell I've done this a few times? At some point, the best solution for me was just simply to live with the fact that maybe I needed a shelving unit or a cart in the living room, and that was where some of the art supplies were going to live. And it's okay if they don't make it to the craft room as long as they make it to the craft shelf or the craft cart. No big deal, no harm done. At some point, I just had to admit that was where I was going to use the sketchbook, and so therefore that's where it and the colored pencils and a large number of other art supplies probably needed to live. It was just going to be easier. And then for those of you who are already creative people, if you want to start your new year off right, I would be negligent because of the spiritual nature of what I'm about to say, not to tell you to please stop what you're doing if you're doing anything apart from Christ. Talk to him and give your life to him before you take this next step. And if you have any hesitation, please remember you probably have about $1 billion spiritual debt, and he is willing to pay every spiritual penny of that if you will say yes to him. So with all of that being said, engage him, and once you've gotten saved, talk to him, ask him to help you with your vision board and show you a little bit about what is upcoming in your year, what will be available to you. And the last several years, I've done this with him in different areas of my life. I do this with my art-related stuff. I do this with my walk with him. I do kind of a general one. You can do one for your love life. Maybe you have some other things in your life that you would like. And it's interesting to see some of that come true. Now, will it all come true? Actually, the way I prefer to look at what is on that vision board is this is what God has made available to me in the new year. And it's really kind of interesting and fun to have a picture of what it is he has or will make available to me inside that new year, or at least what he would like to make available to me inside of this new year. And I've had stuff where, for those of you who don't know a whole lot about spiritual warfare, that is something that has come and stopped, I think, a lot of things from happening over the course of the years. So getting back to kind of more the art related stuff, that's a really fun art project you can do to start your new year off right. New Year's is also a great time to just simply take inventory, both of your art supplies and your life. So if you're already a creative person, a really wonderful New Year's resolution that I would love to point you to, especially in light of the fact that the cost of putting food on the table is bananas and the cost of keeping a roof over your head has probably gone through the roof in recent years. So you might want to consider a New Year's resolution like, I'm going to go through all of my art supplies and I'm going to decide which things I'm going to use before I buy any more. Now, if you need a different size canvas or you need a different size paper, that's great, and we understand. Everybody understands. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about I'm perfectly happy with these 16 by 20 canvases that I liked using for acrylic pour painting, and I don't need to buy any more until I've used every single one of these up. And maybe this year, part of that New Year's resolution is I'm going to actually paint on every single one of these. And I don't mean one stroke and I'm done. I mean an actual picture. You can paint over acrylic over and over and over again as long as you don't seal it. So if I'm not happy to display that thing, it isn't finished. Now, the canvas paper or the acrylic paper, that might be a different story because you're going to wreck that at some point. But as far as the canvases themselves go, guess what? It isn't done until I'm satisfied that that canvas is either completely wrecked because I didn't wreck it on purpose, but stuff happens. Or alternatively, I am satisfied that that is going to be a good picture for display in my living room, or better yet, in an art show. And yes, guys, that dream did come full circle for me in the last year. So that is a completely different podcast that I'm going to share at a later date. So if you have any more New Year's resolutions that will maybe increase your creativity this year or help you get things rolling in the creative part of your life, please let me know in the comments below. And if you'd like to help keep an artist from starving, make sure you check out my website, and I will see you next time.